The new Boost Mobile network is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for life.
That sounds like a threat.
Then how do you think we should say it?
Unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month for the rest of your life?
I don't know.
Until your ultimate demise.
What if we just say forever?
Okay.
$25 a month, forever.
Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile forever.
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Since 2013, Bombas has donated over 100 million socks, underwear, and T-shirts to those facing homelessness. If we counted those on air, this ad would last over 1,157 days. But if we counted the time it takes to make a donation possible, it would take just a few clicks. Because every time you make a purchase, Bombas donates an item to someone who needs it.
Go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/ACAST, code ACAST.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Hey everybody, this is Carly. We're releasing a fan favorite episode from our Patreon archives to showcase our brand new Patreon collection called Sister Wives Classics. What that means is we made an entire playlist of specific episodes available for purchase as a collection, so you have access to them anytime, even if you're not an active Patreon subscriber. It also means that you don't need to have a monthly subscription to enjoy the best episodes of Sister Wives. And if you're already a Patreon member, you can access that list at any time and enjoy it as part of your monthly benefits. Do you have a friend who needs a crash course in all of the Brown family drama but doesn't have the time to catch up on every episode of Sister Wives? I think we all do. So we've handpicked 20 episodes to give the best introduction to the show possible. We've got everything from Robyn's wedding, to the dress fiasco, to Truly getting sick, to the commitment ceremony, to all of the kids' weddings, and many, many more classic moments. So you can check that out over on patreon.com/survivingpod and enjoy this episode.
Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives, the podcast where a monogamous couple drink heavily while recapping Sister Wives on TLC.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is a margarita episode.
I've had to cut Carly off before we started recording, so it should be interesting. It was only one drink.
I'm not happy about it.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I think I'm holding it together just fine.
You're lightweight over there today. I don't know what the deal is.
This is Season 12, Episode 5, PolygaMexicamist... Meximist?
No.
How am I saying that wrong?
Super PolygaMexicamistic expialidocious.
Oh, I didn't even see the N letters there. PolygaMexicamist.
Nope. Still missed it. There's some more letters in there.
Whatever.
Think of it like a mayor I can.
It is Tony and Mykelti's wedding day. This is probably one of the most anticipated Sister Wives episodes that you guys have asked just to recap. We were in like season 1, season 2, and you guys were like, can you recap Tony and Mykelti's wedding?
It's like, wait for it. You got to wait for it.
We're going to get there. And today is the day.
2 years, 3 years later, here we are.
Thank you for your fidelis as it took us time to get here.
The PolygaMexicamist Wedding.
Whatever.
So the TLC description for this one is, Mykelti's polygamist family ties the knot with Tony's Mexican Catholic family through a one-of-a-kind winter wedding. It's freezing cold. Christine forgets to bring Cody's shirts. And they even beat bride and groom pinatas.
Yay. And run out of food.
This was kind of like this description, the TLC description specifically, was like a text message from my dad. It was just very abrupt sentences that barely make any coherent sense.
Summarizing his experience at this wedding.
A factual statement, period, end of sentence. And then followed by another sentence, completely unrelated.
It's freezing cold, completely unrelated thought. Christine forgets to bring Cody shirts.
This is the summary of the wedding experience as seen through this episode. Yes, it's freezing cold. Christine forgot Cody's shirts. They beat pinatas. But now it's time for the long-awaited Carly episode rewrite description.
Tony and Mykelti hold the hypothermic wedding of their dreams. Robyn is diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy. A zombie horde descends on life-size pinatas after the kitchen runs out of tacos.
Did they actually run out of tacos? I think that they were just getting concerned that they were running low on tacos.
I'm going to say they ran out of food.
Probably. It was just that they would never doubt Tony again. That's the main lesson here. Always trust Tony. But it was a little World War Z moment there with all the kids swarming in on the pinatas when they were on the ground.
It scared me.
It was alarming. There's concerns to be had.
Before we jump into the episode, announcements. Just a few this week.
Somebody better tell Robyn that the Christmas store is closing.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Apparently Cody made a cameo singing a song saying he has no wives. Do we want to address that? Do we care? I don't think it's true.
I don't think it's that he has no wives. It's just he has significantly less wives than he started with on the show.
He said he had no wives in the song.
He's just singing a song. That's the lyric of the song, isn't it?
And he was making the lyrics up as he goes.
Oh, I thought it was a line or a limerick of an existing song that he was repeating.
Who knows?
I didn't think that Cody had the originality to write and produce a song on his cameos.
You can pay extra for that. It was only 2 lines.
Hard pass. Ours was only 2 words. Hard pass.
If you want to join us over on the Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod, our recap of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace is out now.
Also known as What's Eating Natalia Grace, for Carly's reference. But you can swing on by if you're a legal wife. You get some special access here to a drink recipe that you can enjoy while you listen.
This month's drink recipe is a spiked slushy, which, if I do say myself, looks very much like some Plexus.
You can throw it right in your water bottle and hydrate. It's probably the same amount of medical benefits that we can offer, that we can claim.
We make no medical claims. Don't get us sued, Corey.
Right. It's the same amount as Plexus's claims. It's same nutritional benefits.
Just as valid.
Yes.
From a scientific standpoint. Okay.
I would say.
And remember that you can listen to our recaps of seasons 1 through 10 over on the Patreon now. That is hours of hilarious content.
As well as this episode that you're listening to right now. You can get that ad-free over on the Patreon too.
And if you're enjoying listening to us, why don't you leave us a review?
Go on and log into your Apple account if you can remember what that ID is. Dig up that email address and try to figure out if it's connected to the Apple ID that they've created for you. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Great. Thanks for making it sound like such a pain in the ass to leave a review. It should be something simple. 5 stars. Loved it. Do more. Good job. Ha ha ha.
Bigly funny.
Get creative. That's all we're saying.
Maybe I'll read some of them in Robyn voice if there are any requests that are made in there.
They have to say they want it to be read in Robyn's voice?
I guess so. Yeah, maybe. Or as long as it carries big Robyn energy, then maybe we'll just call those out.
Okay, this is the month of Robyn reviews. Except for Robyn loves it. We don't want negative reviews from Robyn. We want positive ones. So write your best impersonation of Robyn giving us a positive review, and Corey will read them at the start of the podcast.
That's a good idea. Yeah, maybe we can run with that.
All right, sounds good. That it? I think that's everything.
I think that's all the announcements. So yeah, we could probably go ahead and jump right in to St. George, Utah. Gross.
The sun has not even come up yet. I'm assuming that's just the way every day starts in St. George, Utah. It is dark and gloomy and cold.
It's like Alaska in the winter where the sun doesn't come up for 30 days.
That's the current situation. And the family is already up bright and early. They're heading to the wedding venue because, as we know, Chris was very concerned at the end of the last episode. Are you going to have time to set everything up before people show up?
Well, we will if we start at 3 a.m.
Perfect. Set your alarms.
So that's the plan.
But not everyone is here. Not everyone is going to be helping out this morning. We've just selected a few people.
Mykelti is taking a page out of Maddie's playbook, and she understands too many cooks in the kitchen. It's just going to complicate things. I just need my mindless workers who I can bark orders at, who will go ahead and accomplish these things in a timely manner without too much lip about it.
So naturally, Tony, Cody, MIA.
Not involved.
They get crossed off the list. They're not going to be helpful. Just better that they're not here.
So we got decorations all over the place. We've got Hunter. We've got Garrison. We've got Logan. They're all hanging flowers. All of these handmade fake flowers that will last a lifetime in somebody's junk drawer.
They're going to go in the trash right after this.
Very time well spent.
Christine has some unique energy this morning, and she's wearing a "Don't Mess with the Mob," the MOB shirt. And, like, no one laughs. It's "Don't Mess with the Mother of the Bride."
And it's written in that Godfather font.
It made me giggle.
Did she have to go to the boardwalk to get that made? Or where is the boardwalk in St. George, Utah?
She bought it on Amazon. It's freezing outside, which, I mean, I guess the sun hasn't come up yet. So should we start judging the weather?
I mean, well, even the staff is outside and they're like, it's fucking cold, you guys. It is very, very cold. This is going to be a memorable day, to say the least. And that's always a bad sign if the staff is saying that.
And they're also going to have to bring heaters out because they're worried that people are going to be so cold that they may have a lawsuit on their hands at the end of the day.
And with the amount of people that are here, it could go class action.
Why didn't they just say, look, bitch, it's too cold. We're not doing that outside today.
Mykelti's like, you had your chance because I asked for an August wedding and you demanded a December wedding. So you reap what you sow. She doubled down. She's like, there is no contingency. There is no backup. There is no inside. It's only outside.
She could have done the whole wedding outside.
So bring your mittens because I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
Well, now Mykelti and the bridesmaids are getting their hair done because it is the ripe hour of 8 a.m. And it is time to start because they have so many people who need to get their hair and makeup done that they have clocked from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., which is when the pictures are supposed to start to get ready.
The wedding's not till 3, but they're doing the pictures before, which I like that as a wedding goer.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
I was going to say, I don't know if anybody really asked.
Doing the pictures before the ceremony, I appreciate that.
Well, but they have so many pictures to take. They have an abnormal amount of photos that have to be taken compared to a non-polygamist wedding. So in the end, they actually have to do pictures at 1 o'clock before the ceremony, and then they still do more pictures after the ceremony. So I think this was just an essence of time situation where they would have been taking pictures until 8 p.m.
That's no good.
That would have been a long cocktail hour.
If that, did they even have a cocktail hour? It didn't
No,
look like
they
there
didn't
was,
have cocktails. There were no drinks.
There's no drinks. There's no bar. So I didn't see anybody walking around with plates of food. I didn't see anybody eating or drinking anything.
No, all they have is tacos. They told us this. That's it. The tacos and the dessert.
I would have been so upset at this wedding for so many different reasons. That's the top of the list, though, is food. Food and drink.
I would have gone to Popeyes while everybody was taking pictures.
I'll be back in like 30, okay? I already put my order in on the app. I'm just going to buzz through the drive-thru. I'll be right back.
I could tell from the way things are headed that there's not going to be enough food. I'm just getting the vibe.
It's going to be a problem.
They're talking about what's going to change now that you guys are married. And I mean, they've already been...
Fucking? They've already
been enjoying each other.
Yes, we came together.
What's the word?
Carnally?
They've already been enjoying each other carnally.
In the biblical sense.
So she doesn't even mention that. She's like, well, it's going to just be like, now I call Tony husband.
That's really the only thing that's going to change.
Which makes Christine giggle because everything changed when she married Cody. He wasn't even the same human being anymore.
Yeah, Christine's like, you have no idea how much is going to change. And it's like, well, yeah, if you marry a psychopath, then yeah, your life will change in an instant because you only courted him for like a month. I think that was like their courtship, which was basically just planning the wedding.
Which he went to a different state from where she was. So they didn't even spend that time together.
So, yeah, I don't think you knew the guy that you married. I think it was a who the bleep did I marry situation.
Cody's biggest regret, though, you know, we had to hide our marriage because we were polygamists. And I think that really, I wouldn't want to do that again. It
really robbed Christine of the experience of me being a husband, but I'm still not going to fulfill that.
That was what it was. That was why I didn't actually show up and be a husband, was because I had to hide it from the world. I couldn't be one.
Because I wasn't one. The world took that away from me as a polygamist man.
In public or in private.
Because if we learn anything this episode, we learn about the plight of the polygamist man in this episode. Let me tell you, from Cody's point of view.
Well, speaking of, we've got Tony, our monogamous groom, who is in his, that was Tony and Mykelti's apartment,
It was
right?
their apartment.
It was their apartment. That's where he's getting ready.
He's hanging out with the brosman.
He's just like brushing his hair forward. Did you notice that?
There was a lot of swooping that was going on. There was a lot of gaming that was happening too. Not a lot of preparing for a wedding that I saw.
No, he's just combing his hair forward. No product, no nothing. He's biting off his hangnails and spitting them onto the couch. I guess they were cans of soda, since that seems to track, right? They're playing video games.
It was a lot of Dr. Pepper.
They're drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper and playing video games. They've lost track of time. It's its own universe inside this apartment.
Well, it's only 11 a.m. and what time do we have to be there? It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. I don't know. Let's double check the schedule. We got an itinerary from Mykelti, and it looks like we don't need to be there till like 12:30. So let's plan to leave around noon. So we got like an hour. We can keep playing video games till then.
And that's pretty much all the footage we get, because that's what's been happening in that apartment.
Are you excited? Yeah.
I feel like it smelled bad in there. Just from all of the guys.
Testosterone.
Too much testosterone. Too young. Too many.
But then also Axe body spray.
Yes. Well, that's all they've got to do. They've lightly ironed their shirts. They're going to throw those on. They're going to hit with a little Axe body spray. They're going to comb their hair one last time. Maybe, if we're lucky, they'll use a little mouthwash. Out the door.
So this is where we get Cody's take on polygamous men on their wedding days and how it's a very morbid affair. He's glad that Tony's having a good experience as a monogamist man, because thankfully he is, because he can at least enjoy his wedding day, because Cody never got to enjoy any of his wedding days. It's not so easy being a polygamist man.
They're balancing so much more.
You have so much on your mind. You show up to your wedding with your third wife with a 1,000-yard stare.
It's almost like they chose it. It's a tough lifestyle, but someone's got to do it.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Did you notice Robyn mumbling on the couch about how she didn't want a big reception?
Well, yeah, I love how Cody's biggest lesson from his shitty-ass wedding with Christine was that if he ever gets married again, he promised to make it a celebration. I'm glad he was able to learn that valuable lesson through his nuptials with Christine.
I don't think it is a good feeling for your husband to come away from your wedding saying, you know what, the next time around I do this, I'm going to make it better. It's going to be so much more spectacular than this event.
I'm going to make sure it doesn't suck ass like this one, because this one blew.
Thanks for planning it all, though. That was real helpful.
Good look. So now Cody's revealing the ponytail. He's busting it out. And I think this is probably one of the first times on camera that we've got to experience this, because this is now, we're reaching into the Geico caveman phase of Cody's hair.
It's getting worse and worse every episode.
Christine kind of seemed into it initially, but Mykelti immediately vetoes it. She's like, this is not a ponytail affair.
Okay, the winds are too high for it not to be a ponytail affair.
I would have to argue for ponytail in this situation. So I guess Mykelti, I don't know what her judgment here is. She's like, well, hey, if I'm wearing my hair down and it's going to be blown around, yours better be blown around too.
I need yours to look worse than mine in the pictures. Well, this suit, though, what'd you think? I thought much sharper, much better than the outfit for Maddie's wedding.
I didn't really pay attention to what Cody was wearing, so I don't really know.
Right, well, let's skip over that. Well,
I'm just glad he did eventually get a shirt on, because I wouldn't put it past him. If it was a little bit warmer outside, he might have just decided to pop the shirt off and go down Chippendale style with a bow tie.
Hold on.
And that's it.
Wait, so how did we get this scene, but then he doesn't have his shirt?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't he fully dressed?
This is all out of order.
But this was like, wait, maybe this is when he tried his suit on?
Maybe he wasn't fully dressed.
Because this is when they're all still getting ready. Like Mykelti's not in her dress or anything, right? No, they were
doing hair and makeup.
Yeah. So he had something that looked like a suit.
But he didn't have I don't know if he had the full shirt. He didn't go full regalia.
Because he ended up having like a maroon shirt, right? Or a red shirt. No?
I think it was white.
I made it up. Okay. Something sketchy happened here.
Yeah, either there's some fabrication, some made-up drama here that Christine forgot a shirt somewhere. It wasn't one of his purple ones. We stand corrected. Those are a little too business casual for today.
It got a little passive-aggressive on the couch, though, when they were talking about the ponytail. Because the first thing Cody says is, well, Robyn likes the ponytail.
That's his immediate go-to defense.
Like, first of all, Robyn's not the only one who likes the ponytail. We know that Janelle likes the ponytail more than anyone.
But I did like that Janelle took a moment to clarify. She liked the ponytail once. One time. And now that has cemented in Cody's mind that Janelle is 100% on board for the ponytail, rain or shine.
Apparently not, though, because he only mentioned that Robyn likes it. And then Christine's like, well, I hear that a lot. Robyn likes this shirt. Robyn bought this shirt. Robyn this, Robyn that.
Robyn, you blind. But I did like Christine had to set some ground rules here where there's an unwritten rule where Christine's hair must exceed the length of Cody's hair for whatever they're going out for. And they can't have matching ponytails because then that's just a little weird.
You see, this is a rule that Mary should have instated.
And Mary's like, what, you're not into that?
You're not going to the same hairstylist?
You're not trying to match hair?
It's cheaper if they use the same hair color on the both of you.
Same color, same clippers, same everything. One-stop shop.
It's a 2-for-1 deal. Meanwhile, at the timeshare, things are going downhill quickly. Truly has gotten a hold of a makeup palette and
she went rogue.
She has chosen blue as the color for this evening.
But only over one eye. It was a style
She's
choice.
got a David Bowie look going on here.
Very Ziggy Stardust.
Maddie is busy talking endlessly about her baby, even though it's Mykelti's big day.
Yeah, we had to shoehorn this in because the cameras are here. And so they're like, Maddie, you should probably talk about the baby.
Can I tell you, I don't even know if this pissed Mykelti off, but I'm butthurt for her.
Yeah, I would be upset about this.
It turns out they do want to find out the sex of the baby. Maddie already thinks it's a boy, and Caleb is really hoping that it's a boy as well.
Yeah, Caleb really wants his first baby to be a boy so he doesn't have to worry about some creeper swooping in on his daughter the way he swooped in on Maddie.
And it's good to have things in common.
No, actually, it's because he's a big, bald American man. Big, bald.
You're not saying it the way that I do.
Bald?
Big, bald.
Big, bald. American man. So, of course, he needs a boy to raise, to hunt and fish.
It's just so hard to have a child of a different sex and to still participate in hobbies and activities together and have an interest in them, even if their interests are different than yours.
I don't know how to relate with anybody unless they're basically the exact same as me.
Yeah, also, he says, because it'll be easier for him. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Good. So we don't care if it's harder for Maddie, because kind of like she's doing the whole harder part of having the baby. I would say she's got the short end of the stick to begin with.
Well, we know where the long end of the stick went. It's over there with the big balls.
But next up on the to-do list?
Twins. So, of course.
Apparently, twins run in Caleb's family, which I'm pretty sure, Maddie, that's not the way that works.
Well, it could increase your chances, but usually that would be if the woman has twins that run in her family, right?
Like, not a science podcast.
Not a fertility reproduction podcast.
Don't get your fertility advice from here.
No, but I will provide as much advice.
Misinformation,
call it what you will.
I'm glad, though, for Mykelti that she was able to steal a dream from Maddie in the end.
That was worth it, I think, in the long run. It all comes full circle.
The karma of mentioning it on her wedding day and then Mykelti becomes the one with twins is just...
That's beautiful. Yeah.
It's a chef's kiss.
It's poetic.
Couldn't have been written better. Christine's starting to stress. She's knocking things off the countertops. She's screaming. She's just generally being disruptive and honestly annoying.
She is aggressively pouring orange juice for Truly and just freaking out about this wedding.
She also doesn't know what time it is because apparently the clock in the kitchen is an hour ahead.
Well, it's December, so usually you roll the clocks back at the beginning of November, so...
No one's been in here for a while.
It's been a minute.
So she thinks they have 2 hours until they have to take pictures. She's
now realizing it's only 9:30 in the morning. It's not actually 10:30. They still have 3 hours to go get ready for photos.
So that like somewhat calms her down, but Aspen's the one who really has to do it, which is why she's the maid of honor, right? She's got to get mom back in line. Calm down.
And Christine's like, okay, great. So I won't freak out right now. But then she's scheduling a freak out for, okay, but in an hour, let's freak out, okay?
Expect for this to happen again.
It's probably the same thing's going to happen in about an hour.
I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do it the exact same way.
Yeah, let's plan this out.
It's time for the first big moment of the wedding, which is Mykelti distributing all of the bouquets to all of her bridesmaids.
Yeah, with a real heartfelt message of, I don't care what you do with these afterwards. I don't want them back.
You can keep them, but I don't care what you do with them.
Or whatever.
They're going in the trash. So thank you to everyone who spent hours of your life painstakingly making each one of these unique fabric flowers.
Burn them, shred them, put them in a blender. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Why did she take them back? First of all, Mykelti's bouquet is quite small for a bridal bouquet.
Just saying. Not that size matters or anything.
I just feel like halfway through they were like, fuck it. This is not getting any bigger.
Yeah, I'm not making any more of these.
They should have just broken down all of the bridesmaids' bouquets at the end and made them part of her bouquet so that she could keep it.
But then what would they carry?
No, after they're done with them, since she essentially told them to throw them in the trash.
But I think she wanted them for like photos or for them walking down the aisle with stuff too. She wanted them to have something.
Where are you lost?
Well, then if
after the wedding is over, that she could just take them. Give me your bouquets back. Don't throw them in the trash. I will find some way to make a memory of my wedding with these.
Lend me your bouquets.
They're going to be confiscated at the end of the evening.
I still don't know where we're differing, though. I'm missing it. I'm missing it.
Okay,
I'm missing the point. No. I'm missing the point. Hold on. Because what I'm trying to say is that I think she needed to have separate bouquets for everybody.
Yeah.
For the wedding. Yes. Okay. So we're on the same page there. All right. I'm trying to back into this. Hold on. Give me a minute. So separate bouquets for the ceremony. You're saying that her bouquet is too small, but how can you create a megazord of bouquets while simultaneously having all of the bridesmaids still maintaining their own individual bouquets at the ceremony? That's the problem.
This is only a post-wedding thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The ceremony is where we're having the issue. If you're saying her bouquet is too small.
Yeah, well, it's too bad. It's too late. That's what you have pictures with.
Ta-da.
Use
Yeah,
Photoshop.
That is it. Yeah, you've got... Oh, you can just AI fill the rest of that now. No problem.
I'm just saying she could have taken them all home. She could have made a shadow box.
Oh, after today, none of this.
Put them in acrylic and made something.
After today, none of this fucking shit matters. No, so that's what I'm saying. Is like, if we wanted a bigger bouquet, yeah, you missed the boat on that one because today was the deadline. Today is the day. This was your shot. We're not making a big one afterwards here for sentimental purposes.
See, I'm glad she was so sentimental about it. Throw them out. I don't care what you do.
I don't care.
I'm not attached to them.
They're not coming back to my apartment. Okay. I'm done with these.
I never want to see them again. Not even in photos.
No. And Aspen is already like secretly just clenching hers with resentment.
Well, her fingers are already stuck like that from the shape of holding the fabric flowers as she was sewing them.
Yeah, for real.
She's gonna need reconstructive surgery.
There's going to be some physical therapy after this. It's going to be a whole thing.
The great hair debate is not over.
Oh my God. Robyn is still trying to pick a fight that has been solved for months. It was when we picked Mykelti's dress. This was a long time ago.
So, as we know,
it was before that. It was on the vacation in Hawaii. Remember when Mykelti ran into the door?
No, that was also in Utah. Remember? That was the vacation where Mary and Leon spoke to each other, but didn't want to speak to each other.
Oh, right. Okay. But that was, Mykelti went full bore into the glass sliding door, which again, maybe that's why Mary doesn't like sliding doors. Kids get caught up in them. They just smash into them.
You can't trust them, man.
They're like lightning bugs. They just bounce right off of those suckers.
But yes, Tony had wanted Mykelti to wear her hair down. Robyn, who thinks that her opinion, for some reason, accounts for a lot here, wants Mykelti to wear her hair up. Did Mykelti want to wear her hair up? I think she mentioned it briefly, and Robyn was like, yes. That's what I want you to do.
As long as it's the opposite of what Tony wants, that is what I want. But Christine is doing Mykelti's hair. Why didn't we talk to Christine about this?
She's just taking orders at this point.
Because you want to know why? Because it doesn't fucking matter. Because we already came to this conclusion months ago.
Well, she's gone with a half up, half down hairstyle to please both Tony and Robyn.
Because Robyn always needs pleasing, which is why Cody can never get away.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time, minimum $10 per order, service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.
At 1-800-Flowers.com, we know that connections are at the heart of being human. Whether celebrating life's joys or comforting during tough times, 1-800-Flowers helps you express what words can't. For nearly 50 years, millions have trusted 1-800-Flowers to deliver thoughtful gifts that help create lasting bonds. Because it's more than just a gift. It's your way of showing you care. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST and connect today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
So now all the moms are here because we have to prepare for all four moms. We did the something old, new, borrowed, and blue tradition. So now we're going to start with that presentation here. Robyn opens it up by giving Mykelti an antique hairpin with the pin.
And a set of earrings.
I would hope that the hairpin has a pin. Otherwise, you need to get your money back.
Well, they're both haunted and a passive-aggressive gift because she is still hoping that she'll be able to get Mykelti to put all her hair up since now she has a hairpin.
It would look so much better if your hair was up. Last chance.
I thought the hairpin was ugly. I'm going to say it. I like the idea of a hairpin. I don't like the one she chose.
I don't know what the fuck a hairpin is supposed to look like.
I think she spent hours going from antique store to antique store looking for this.
Yeah, I think she brought a lot of spirit babies home that day.
Janelle was like, fuck yes, I've got something new. This is going to be easy. I'm on davidsbridal.com. Check out. Done. She was done 8 months ago before the wedding was even announced.
I got you some new furs because this is like a 1920s wedding.
She scares the shit out of Mykelti because she thinks at first that it's a real fur shawl.
Yes.
To which I say, Mykelti, do you think that Janelle, of all people, is going to spring for real fur?
It doesn't take much to impress Mykelti. These are faux furs, yes, so please do not splatter Mykelti with red paint on her way to the venue.
Although it would match the rest of the wedding.
I think it would have fit the other wedding a lot better if we were all covered in the skins of the creatures that we have hunted in the last year.
How do you...
At Maddie and Caleb's wedding.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So maybe Janelle already had these saved in her cart for Maddie's wedding and was like, wow, that works out perfectly.
So thank God she has something to keep her warm. Although, did we see her wear it at any point? Maybe when they took pictures?
I don't know if they did at all. It's the thought that counts, though. Right? In a polygamous family?
Next up is something blue, which appropriately has been assigned to Mary.
It's Mary.
And Mary has gone to Kohl's and bought the first pair of blue bracelets that she could find.
She didn't find them. She walked in and said, "You got anything blue?" And they said, "I don't know, I guess this." And she said, "Sold."
Like, okay, I understand she was going for the vintage end of the vintage Mexican theme, but these were very large pearls, which instantly look very fake.
This is my problem, is that a lot of these gifts are kind of crossover. We're mixing the different things because, like, when we'll talk about Christine's, because is it borrowed? Is it old? What is it?
Debatable.
It's debatable is what it is. Because Mary, yeah, she bought this. It's blue, but it's new.
Or she only had to get something blue. That's it. They don't all have to get something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that they are blurring the lines of what they are providing because sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that.
Okay, let's move on to Christine because that's where the real problem
This
occurs.
is where the confusion originated.
She is supposed to be giving something borrowed.
But she has the exact same sentiment that Mykelti has about the bridal party's bouquets. I don't care what you do with these afterwards. I don't want it back.
She already gave them to Mykelti, so there's not much of a reveal here, but She tells the other wives that she made a couple of flowers for Mykelti's bouquet out of her wedding dress. And everyone kind of starts to tear up. Wow, that was very thoughtful. It is. It is. I thought it was thoughtful.
It's something.
To give your daughter your cursed wedding gown. But borrowed means you give it back.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is this borrowed or is this old? I think that this would qualify as old.
Okay.
Right? It's debatable.
It's debatable. And it's the thought that counts, though, like you said.
So now we're getting an entire instructional overview of what to do with pashminas for the bridesmaids. But don't pay too much close attention because we're going to nix these before we walk out there anyway.
I'm not going to ever see them again.
Yeah.
This brings up a conversation, though, because it's cold. And we've got some delicate children as well as a pregnant child here.
Some pregnant child?
She's basically a child.
Oh, my God.
A pregnant young adult.
A pregnant child bride on the premises here. But Cody doesn't want to get anyone sick, even though he's brought his children who are actively sick with fevers, coughing, spewing the germs all around. But he doesn't want to get anybody sick. It's too late, bro. You've already exposed everybody.
This was a pre-COVID Cody.
I don't think COVID expanded that level of knowledge for him.
No, I don't think so either.
I think if anything, it just got more confusing.
But too bad. So sad. See you later. This is an outdoor wedding, so suck it up and get outside.
You had your chance at an August wedding where the weather would be fair. And you said no.
And it's not flu season.
Right, that too. Too bad. So sad.
Now all of a sudden, Cody is helping with some of the wedding duties, and he has made sure to bring his trusty moving denims and his moving gloves.
Yeah, he's going to get the chuppah in place here. Carly kept getting very upset that I was referring to it as a chuppah.
It's just an arch at this wedding, which they have hung strings of pearls that are higher quality than the bracelets that Mary has given Mykelti.
Yeah, it's not much of a chuppah, and Tony did not build it himself. So...
It's still highly flammable, though.
I'm sure it is. Coated in lacquer.
Well, we're getting to the wedding. Mykelti comes out in her dress.
And she pulls the gold member and she goes, I'm getting married. Isn't that weird?
Let me get a little sisterly love situation here where Mykelti genuinely loved this gift so much more than the 4 gifts that she received from her mothers.
The 4 gifts combined did not equate to a fraction of the happiness and the joy that Mykelti receives from this bracelet from Aspen that says Novia and it has their wedding date on it. Clearly the most impactful gift by far of the day.
As this heartwarming moment is occurring, Tony is on the loose. He's wandering the halls of the venue and he's looking for the girls because he has the schedule. And we are off schedule, and he is confused. I'm also assuming they gave him the keys to all of the rooms in this place because he has a carabiner that is hooked to the loop of his pants, and he is jingling through the hallways. You could hear him coming feet ahead.
He's like a janitor.
Yes.
Yeah, he's prepared.
He's last minute cleaning things up.
Probably got a bottle opener on there, too, just in case. Even though it's a dry wedding. So it's mostly just going to be used to open pesky soda cans that you can't get your fingernail under.
Save bottles of salsa for the tacos.
Bottles of salsa. You could do that too.
Which, dear God, I hope some of you brought your own salsas and hot sauces because I do not think that this place had them on hand.
Highly doubt it. But it's 1 p.m. This is when we were told that photos would begin. None of the bridesmaids are here. So now Tony has to go search around. Christine's not here? Or is she? I think she is here, but she's busy with other stuff.
She's somewhere.
She's around. She's on the premises, but she's not ready for photos. This is where Tony gets to find out what first look photos are.
He has no idea what the photographer's talking about.
I don't know these phrases, the terminology that you're using.
Because he's standing outside of the door. Like, the door is wide open. to the place where Mykelti currently is sitting, which is like, I don't know, like a tiny cafeteria. That's what it looks like. It's a school cafeteria, which makes a lot of sense.
School cafeteria?
That was the vibe the room gave.
That's what your school cafeteria looked like?
What did you, just cinder block walls?
It was like in the gym.
It was just like prison.
So it wasn't, it was like they set up folding tables in the gym. For lunch. I'm talking about my lunch. I'm not talking about Mykelti's bridesmaid stuff.
Okay. We didn't eat in the gym because
people
use the gym.
Well, yeah, you use the gym at certain times during the day. But
No.
the
Look,
tables.
that's what happens when you go to a small school. When you go to a school that has gym every period of the day, you have to have a dedicated lunchroom.
See, this is not just my private Jeebus school that I'm referring to. I'm also referring to my public school experience, which happened in the gym. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Actually, the private school, we did have it was a cafeteria set space.
So does the gym smell like food while you're having to work out?
Everything's unpleasant in the gym.
Oh, where were we? So they're in this tiny room and Tony is standing outside of the door. He's not being allowed to look in it. And he's just yelling from one side through the wall at Mykelti. And they're kind of giggling like, oh, look at my dumb husband. He's here trying to get us back on schedule. We're not ready. Go back upstairs, honey, and just wait. I'll be up there in a few minutes or a few hours.
TBD at this point is what all of the time stamps will say on the rest of the agenda that I've sent out. Those are no longer set in stone. We're flying by the seat of our pants here.
And who are we waiting on? Christine and Cody. Neither of them are dressed yet, and not for the good kind of reasons.
Not the reasons that Christine wants. Well, Cody was so busy with the moving denims and the gloves, just that wardrobe change in general, it's going to take some time.
He's stuck in the leather gloves.
He got all sweaty moving the chuppah. He's going to have to take another shower.
So we have to get them doing something, because otherwise Tony's going to keep wandering around this place and discovering new things. So the photographer sets them up to do their first look, and Mykelti is excited for Tony to see her.
She should be, because she looks great. This is a good day for her. She is prepared while no one else is, because I don't know what's going on with Tony's hair. If it was the brushing forward repeatedly that you had mentioned at their apartment that has now taken effect, but he kind of looks like Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men.
I don't know. The wind was part of it. It started blowing it upwards. It became very boxy at some point, did it not?
It's not ideal. This is not what we're going for. But yeah, if you don't have any product in your hair and it's a little bit longer and it's very windy outside,
you're going to have a bad day.
That is a bad combination. That is not what you're looking for here. So I thought it was weird to have everybody stand outside and watch them.
I didn't like it either.
Take the photos.
I felt like it made it very awkward. It wasn't a private moment.
And this just wasn't a good spot for these photos either. I mean, the backdrop was not ideal. It was just like tennis courts.
They're just going to blur it all.
And snow fences and stuff in the back there or something. I don't know. It was just like big, tall fences with green tarp in them. Not ideal. It's not what I would imagine.
Well, we're not doing any photos inside, so.
Everything is outside. We've made that abundantly clear.
So beautiful outside.
We have to be outside to keep Tony's hair like this.
They have a weird exchange here where they just tell each other that they look nice, and then Tony yells, boobs.
Boobs.
He's trying to make her laugh, and that's what comes to mind.
There you go.
Boobs.
Well, they're right there. So.
That's all he's really thinking about.
Va-va-voom.
That would have worked on me.
It's all it takes. So the setup looks good. Photos are underway. Everything's looking good. Christine is very nervous.
We have to talk about the hair. You can't skip ahead yet.
What do you got, hair?
Because Tony saw her hair.
Oh, the hair.
It's not all down.
Oh, boy. But that was the compromise. It was part up, part down.
He's not real thrilled about it.
Oh, my God. I didn't even know. What did he say?
He wasn't real thrilled about it.
Oh, please. That's drama. He's trolling. The theme of the wedding is trolling. He's just giving everybody a hard time.
He didn't do anything else for this wedding, and we're supposed to think that he really cares whether or not her hair is all the way up or all the way down. There is no in between. Pick a side.
No way. There's no way.
He didn't even do his own hair.
His hair was part up and part down. Was that the compromise they both decided to do? An up-down do?
That must have been it. We have to talk colors, the shirts. Remember how this wedding was
you have
supposed
so many
to...
more notes about what they're wearing than I do.
Yes, I do. Well,
Jesus
yes.
Christ. I'm just trying to move to the next part.
They were supposed to be wearing, remember, the colors were going to be yellow, teal, silver, and like a maroon.
Which one did we say? That's too many colors. And they don't go together, and that's not sustainable.
Also, I'm pretty sure if you're going to like David's Bridal to get your dresses, aren't there times of year that it's easier to get certain colors than others? I don't know why I'm asking you this.
I have... Well, let me go ahead and check my inventory really quick, and then I can let you know.
Anyway, they're wearing like a gray, silver, and red theme for everybody here. Except we haven't really done our due diligence to match the reds.
Close enough. I think that became the theme of the wedding at some point. Because none of these reds match.
The shirts are just a little deeper than the girls' dresses. It's a little complaint. Am I picky? Yes.
Yes. Well, just be thankful that my dad was not ordering these, because he would have told whoever he was ordering it was purple. Because for him, maroon, burgundy, any deep red. Purple. So that's not one of the colors, thankfully.
Christine has one of those little white flowers in her hair. They did that for all of the girls in the Christine Cody family. It was very Christine season 1 with the flower in her hair. I didn't love it.
Yeah, I thought we moved past that symbolism for her.
I thought we evolved.
I thought she evolved as a character and that we left that behind. But apparently we're going back to our roots, back to season 1 with Christine here, pretending like everything's fine when she is just nothing but turmoil on the inside. Christine's very nervous at this wedding, but the only people that she's sharing this with is Isabel and the TLC camera crew, which is us, the entire viewing audience.
Well, she's nervous not for the wedding, but the big performance. So technically, once the ceremony is over, the pressure's on for her.
But wouldn't that be the most excruciating part? Because you know that you're performing at the reception. So would you even know what's going on during the ceremony, or is that all you're thinking about?
I would never want the ceremony to end.
You're going to call Cody up there for a second sermon?
Get out the notebooks, because Mama don't want to sing.
I'm not ready yet.
Poor Isabel. She's really trying to psych her mom up. She's like, Ma, I thought you should have been a professional singer. Your voice is just that good.
And for a second, I forgot that Christine was singing. And so then when they reminded me of this while we were watching the episode, I was like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a big problem.
We're handling one problem at a time at this wedding. That one has been way far back on the agenda.
That is on the back burner still.
It's starting to approach.
Because now the fire to put out is that Cody's clothes, particularly his shirts, are back at the hotel, at the rental that Christine had. Cody doesn't even believe Christine at first when she's telling him this. He thinks that she's joking to be difficult or to make his blood pressure spike. But no, she has to make it abundantly clear, I am not kidding. I legitimately forgot them. They are back at the hotel. You will need to leave the premises to go procure those shirts and wear them.
Could we have sent someone less important to go get the shirts and bring them back?
Was there somebody else who was already at the rental who could have brought the clothes?
I mean, come on. You know that real Daddy Logan is ready to go. He's been dressed. He's been waiting. He could have gone there and back.
We're 30 minutes out from ceremony time, and the clock is ticking. And as we get closer and closer to the hour here, we still have family missing. Nobody is here. So luckily, it's not just the Browns who aren't here. It's also Tony's family who are kind of late to the party here. So at least it's not all on us, right? It's not completely our fault that it's a total shit show.
50%.
But then they start rolling in, and now we're looking bad because now the key players aren't here for Mykelti's side. Mom and Dad. Uh-oh.
Well, Mom is here, but she's refusing to come downstairs to see Mykelti without Cody also being with her.
Because do you know the amount of shit that Cody would have given Christine if Christine went down there to see Mykelti without him when it was Christine's fault that she didn't bring his shirts and that prevented him from being ready on time?
Would have been a marriage-ending fight.
Boy, we would have been blessed with that early on here. But this was where Tony starts randomly walking around. He's focusing on different things. He's not concerned about who's here. He's more concerned about listening to people's ties that play music or pulling golf scorecards off golfing cart steering wheels at this point in time.
He's just moseying around, looking at random shit.
Let me tell you, that was the groom experience right there. Because you just showed up. This is where they told me to be at this time. I'm here. I'm ready to go. I think nobody else seems ready. Nobody's telling me to go down the aisle yet. So I'm just going to kill some time, I suppose.
So this is the monogamous groom experience?
I think so.
Well, it's 3:00 on the dot, which was the time that the ceremony was supposed to start. And Cody is not answering his texts or picking up the phone. So it's going really well.
Aspen is trying to explain to Mykelti, I have told Christine that you would prefer that she be down here with us right now, but she is not. She's still waiting for Cody. Tony's family has arrived. Everybody's here except for Cody. He's still not responding. We're still not going to have Mom come down here until Cody gets here.
Mykelti's making an executive decision. She wants to get married in the next 5 minutes, whether or not Cody is here.
So now she's taking it out on the bridesmaids. She's like, we're not using the pashminas, so everybody throw those out.
Hold on. Aspen made that decision.
Oh, right.
Because she mistakenly says, it's pretty nice out. We don't need them.
So I think that was a decision by Mykelti under the advisory opinion of Aspen. I think that would be the argument here. Pashminas have been officially nixed. If I'm going to be cold, you're all going to be cold.
She doesn't have to be cold. She has a faux fur shawl.
But she's not going to wear it for the ceremony. Going to ruin all the photos.
That's going to ruin all the photos.
That's what's going to do it, yeah. But here comes Cody and Christine. They come barging in with 2 minutes to spare, roughly. It was worth the wait.
They tell her she looks great, she looks nice, she's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. They have to do it quickly because they're running out of time. And on the couch, Cody makes a comment about how exposed Mykelti's dress is.
I will say I'm glad that Cody saved the slut shaming for the couch afterwards instead of in the moment.
Well, also, is this dress any more revealing than Maddie's dress was? They both had the same neckline.
I would argue that Mykelti has a little bit more to fill out that dress.
So, okay, well, that's going back to slut shaming because that's her fault. Her body is too voluptuous for the dress.
It's a big problem for Cody. Which body shaming is nothing new. They have been body shaming Mykelti since on TV, since they moved to Vegas.
Before that.
Because that was Mary.
Remember when they were moving and Mary was telling her to put another shirt on that she could see straight down her shirt?
She said, I'm seeing too much of your body.
Well, so why are you sitting on the floor while I'm bending over and you're looking down my shirt?
Don't look down my shirt and you won't see my body. These are not my problems.
I felt bad for her because when she was on the couch talking about her dad's reaction, I thought she looked sad.
If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. I didn't say that. Jesus said that. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Are we supposed to gouge her boobies out of the dress?
No, that's what I'm saying is her boobs are her boobs. So if you're looking at her boobs,
that's your problem.
That's your problem.
Sounds like a personal problem.
That is a personal problem that you need to address.
But I thought she looked sad because his reaction to Maddie was so much different.
Can we roll the tape back on that? Because we did see that. The two dads standing together talking about how lucky Caleb was. Gross. Too, on top of that, thinking
also,
back on it.
Gross in a different way.
For multiple reasons now.
We've got to get things moving, though. We've got to get everyone outside. And the forecast, according to Robyn, is really, really cold and really, really windy.
40 degrees freezing and below freezing. Very, really cold, just sitting there. Ari is upset, so that means that Robyn's upset.
Everybody has to be upset.
Should be upset.
How long were everybody sitting out there?
That I do not know.
I feel like the whole time Cody was gone for his shirts, people were sitting outside.
And I love how Janelle has the genius idea, well, we should have started a half hour ago because now the wind's picking up. Well, yeah, Cody should have been here 30 minutes ago.
Nobody was ready 30 minutes ago.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Everyone's like, fuck Cody. We didn't need him for the ceremony. Just go.
You should have started this when you started this.
Now, before the ceremony starts, they have to pass out the super secret, super important frisbees that will be thrown after the ceremony.
Because there's going to be the announcement and the frisbee arch that will be taking place upon their exit.
I'm assuming that they have sorted out the inappropriate ones, or they have taken acetone to them and removed the sayings.
Well, good thing I brought a Sharpie in my pocket, and I can write whatever I want on this thing. There is no censorship.
That's what Gabe and Gwen are doing in the back.
Right. Yeah. They already knew that this was going to be a thing.
They have a pocket full of mini Sharpies and they're ready to go.
They're ready. This is all a bad idea. And I can't wait to see how it goes wrong. That was what I got excited about because it still sounded like a bad idea at this point.
Robyn is obsessively rocking Ari back and forth.
She's thinking to herself, maybe I should go inside because I have this infant child who is ill and maybe shouldn't be out exposed to the elements the way that she is currently in her sick state. But then also, she's a big fan of Aerosmith. She don't want to miss a thing.
Then that's when you say, hey, Cody, take the baby.
He's got to walk Mykelti down the aisle. He's a little busy.
Well, we could trade her off later. Isn't there anyone who could take this baby?
She don't want to close her eyes. She don't want to fall asleep.
This is the downfall of having your nanny be in the wedding.
Yep, that was the biggest problem.
That was the lesson learned for Robyn.
This is
from
Robyn,
here on out.
This is Robyn parenting on her own without any outside assistance. And it was a catastrophe.
Just baby wrapped in a babushka being rocked back and forth. Very, very fast. I don't know. Was the rocking supposed to make her warm?
She just grabbed every pashmina that was abandoned.
No one else in the row has one. Just baby Ari is wrapped in about 18 pashminas.
Well, and they left blankets out because they were like, yeah, we know you're going to be freezing your ass off out here. So here's some blankets, you peasants. Bundle up because we're not going inside.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I would have done? I would have sat out there for 5 minutes, been like, it's fucking cold. I don't see the ceremony starting anytime soon. I'm going in my car, and when I get to the reception, I'm going to say, oh, I'm so sorry. I hit traffic, and I missed the ceremony.
Missed it. But I'm here just in time for the reception.
But I sat warm in my car the whole damn time, watching it through the rear view mirror.
To everyone else, this is a task. But to you, this is opportunity.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the Coach Prime Moto G5G for $29.99 at boostmobile.com. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. Moto G5G for $29.99 when you switch with a new Unlimited Plus or Unlimited Premium plan activation. Online only. Taxes extra. All prices, fees, features, functionality, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit boostmobile.com for details.
Oh, I just got my period. Do you have an extra tampon? Sure. See, I have a couple different brands. They should all only have a little bit of heavy metals in them.
Yep. In a recent study, metals were found in the top 17 tampon brands. Want to know which one wasn't on the list? Lola. Using only clean, organic, natural ingredients that are free from toxins and dyes. All products are gynecologist approved, like it should be. Natural ingredients means less itchiness and discomfort. And with their subscription service, you can sign up and never even think about running out of tampons again. Plus, Lola is focused on women's overall health and safety, providing not only period care products, but sexual wellness and vaginal care products as well. That's because Lola was actually founded by women, so they know what women want and need. It's time for Lola. By women, for all. Get 25% off with code LOLAVIP and see all that Lola has to offer at mylola.com.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/ACAST and use code ACAST at checkout.
Hey there. Looking to level up your shopping experience? Let me introduce you to Amazon Live. If you haven't heard, it's a shoppable video experience where influencers and creators showcase the latest must-haves all while you shop in real time. And for those who love some celeb gossip, reality stars like Kyle Richards, Lala Kent, and friend of the pod, Paige DeSorbo. On her new show, In Bed with Paige DeSorbo, Paige invites top-tier guests to cozy up in her fluffy bed where they spill secrets, share nighttime routines, and even whip up midnight snacks. Stream and shop new episodes of her series In Bed with Paige DeSorbo every Tuesday at 7 p.m. ET by going to amazon.com/live/Paige_DeSorbo. Or you can watch Amazon Live's new live TV channel on Freevee or Prime Video under the DIY section and shop along on your phone.
The ceremony begins, and Tony is bopping down the aisle. He's very excited.
He is having the time of his life.
He's giddy.
While the wind blows his hair all around.
I'm not worried about that. Yeah, the wind is also blowing around the flowers, the flower girls who are coming down processionally here. They are flying all over the place. These flowers are all over the place, scattered to the winds. And then we get the big moment, Mykelti down the aisle.
This was about the amount of involvement Cody should have in a wedding.
Just walk her down the aisle.
Because he did. He walked her down. They got to the end. He said, she does, or something.
We do.
We do, some shit like that. And then he gave Tony a big slap on the shoulder because he has to be the center of attention and make people laugh since he wasn't able to give us any form of speech. And then he sits down. Good. That was good.
That's enough. That's enough input out of you, sir. But then Chris starts in with the ceremony. And then we realize, because can you imagine being in this audience and having this realization? Chris starts talking, but then immediately after he finishes a sentence, we get a translation. So now, what does that mean? This ceremony just doubled in length.
Oh, I had PTSD because I have not only sat through a wedding ceremony, but a Catholic mass as part of a wedding ceremony, which was translated into Polish.
Brutal. Any sort of translation immediately doubles the time of the ceremony. So now there are regrets. You know, this is going to be an endurance test because how long can we sit out here in the cold?
Frostbite is starting to set in. Hopefully you wore closed-toed shoes because you're about to be headed to the hospital. People are fighting over the blankets that have been left on the seats. They look like passengers on the Titanic.
The survivors on the life rafts afterwards there.
But Chris has a ceremony to do. He's here to perform a job. And so he starts with the traditional holding of the frisbee.
Please take the ceremonial frisbee betwixt you.
They both grab a side of it. And it was fun.
I get it. It makes sense.
It was personal to them. Mary loved it. She's thinking about it for her second or third wedding.
Whichever one she lands on.
Whenever she decides what her personality is, she might incorporate it into her future wedding.
Whatever one will make her happy.
But it's all just a bit trite for Cody, as we know. He cannot believe that Chris has included the frisbee bit.
Oh,
he told him to cut it.
So tacky. By Cody's own definition. Tony is adding his own commentary between Chris's lines, which maybe Tony needs a podcast. If you need an outlet for that sort of thing, Tony, I'm just saying.
We're here. Maybe the place isn't the wedding. Very distracting for Chris, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's right there. The dude's right there.
He's not on TV or something.
No, there's no separation, distinguishing distance here. He's right there. Oh, well.
Mykelti's starting to shiver. So she is also suffering from the consequences of her own choices.
Well, you can see her arm is hitting a different shade of red, pink hue, which is alarming. It's getting cold. She's cold.
Again, we're hitting like stage 1 frostbite. So Tony, the gentleman that he is, takes off his jacket and gives it to Mykelti to wear.
So luckily he waited long enough where you're not going to ruin all the photos for the ceremony. You got a couple of good ones there at the beginning. You should be able to salvage that. He waited a reasonable amount of time for that, and now you get to be somewhat warmer than you were before.
It's a little man in a big jacket situation, is it not?
Fat guy in a little coat?
It's given that.
Tommy boy vibes.
But this really impresses Christine because she knows that Cody would never take a coat off of his back to keep her warm.
He wouldn't piss on her to put her out if she was on fire.
So Tony is just climbing up the ladder of son-in-laws here.
If you had any other doubts, any reservations about Tony at this point, squash those out. We're done with that. Tony's a great guy, and he's a keeper.
Do you have any notes on Mykelti's vows? Because that was the part of the ceremony where I started to zone out.
Well, Mykelti started with the vows, and I thought that hers kind of sounded like a Pat Benatar song or like a Cyndi Lauper. But there was like an 80s love pop anthem vibe to it.
Okay. That feels very Mykelti, does it not?
Yeah, it fit, but I don't really remember what she was saying, though. It just kind of had that energy about it.
What about Tony? Because
Tony started with the traditional, the classic.
Very Michael Scott-esque, defining the word vow.
Comes from the Latin votum, of course.
Mary's like, Fidelis!
Fidelis, yes. Oh, yes.
I also speak Latin, Tony.
My favorite part of the vows is when they cut to Cody during the vows, because that was the part that he forgot. Or wait, no, he remembered the vows. He forgot the
exchanging of rings.
He forgot the rings. So at least we got that reaction slightly there for this was the reason why we did not ask you to officiate this wedding. We wanted this done right the first time.
It was a bitter moment for Cody. Although, if you were going to forget the exchanging of rings at any of these weddings, this one maybe would have been a good one to have shortened the ceremony down a bit. I think everyone would have appreciated that.
How many things would Cody have immediately scrapped off his list? Because we know that Cody doesn't like being cold. So he would have...
half the vows, half the ceremony would have been about how you were cold.
He would have cut and chopped and got rid of all of that stuff. Anything that wasn't absolutely necessary to advance the ceremony, he would have nixed it right away.
So they are pronounced man and wife and walk down the aisle as frisbees rain down on them.
Yeah, they're trying to dodge some of the frisbees. They're realizing that these are frisbees that are flying overhead.
They're caught in the gale force winds.
Mykelti, the wind's taken some of them, and once it leaves your hand, you're not responsible for that frisbee anymore. Mykelti enjoyed it, seemed to enjoy it, and Tony seemed a little surprised. I don't think he was as into it as Mykelti was, from my assessment.
Well, no one else cares because they throw that frisbee into the air, and they have given up on airplane rules. Nobody is filing out nicely one at a time. It's just a mad rush to get to the doors of the building. Any door that you can rip open and get inside of, now it's time.
And Robyn's like, women and children first. Clear a path.
Mykelti claims that she's happy they got married outside, even though it was cold.
Oh, it was torture. Yeah, this was an Iron Man marathon. And Tony gets hit with the welcoming committee to the Brown family from all the siblings. And I did spot, I think Caleb was wearing some camo post-ceremony there.
What? How? Did he have that in his pocket? How did he rip that hat and jacket out so fast?
He did not have that on during the ceremony outside.
But it was nearby.
But it had to be within reach, yeah. Because I think that was when Mykelti was going to give the bridesmaids the all clear, was after the ceremony, you can change out of whatever shoes, whatever. And I guess for Caleb, that meant grab your camo hat and throw that baby back on. But now it's time for photos. We're going back outside. You thought you were safe. You thought it was over?
You found refuge inside these warm walls for a few short minutes.
We're just getting started. You wanted this December wedding, did you not? I didn't. I wanted an August wedding. So now we're marching our asses back outside for some more photos.
Because they have some family photos to take now. So it's time for all the Brown kids and adults to get their photos done. And this is where Cody's decided he has a strong boundary. I am not going to let Ari go back outside because she is sick. We have sick children.
And Mykelti has to hit him with the line, it's my decision, it's my wedding. So this is what I want. I want people outside. So let's go outside for some photos. Because how many times did you think that Mykelti had to hear Maddie say, it's my decision, it's my wedding?
Probably a lot.
Probably a couple few. So she's been saving them up for the wedding day.
She probably heard that on Cody and Robyn's wedding day from Cody.
I'm sure. So Cody's still saying no. Robyn is saying no because Ari's been sick. And also Robyn comes up with a whole bunch of other excuses. I've only had 3 hours of sleep the last 4 nights.
She is out here crying a song for everyone to hear about how hard her life is and how sick her baby is and how everyone should feel bad for her.
Because Mindy had to come down so early and I was left unattended with my infant child.
Best few nights of sleep Mindy's had in a long time.
God. Oh my God.
Mykelti's like, fuck it, okay? Then you're still coming outside, Dad, because we're going to do the photos of our family. So Christine and Cody clan, all of y'all are coming outside with me.
The real family.
And all the rest of you, the accoutrement family, you can take the pictures inside.
We'll do some outside. We'll do some inside. That's the compromise. Huge family photo and then some subsets. I didn't like that Cody had to explain every single iteration of what that combination would be of siblings and parents and family members and cousins and sisters and brothers and infants and toddlers and everybody, every single person.
Uh-huh. What about cousins and wife? Or how do they deal with the mixing of the groups?
Well, you got your first cousins, and then you got your second cousins.
So you got your cousins, and then you got your first cousins, and then you got your second cousins. No, honey.
That's not how that works. So if everybody's still cold, because obviously everybody is still cold, let's just go ahead and jump up and down outside. Let's get the blood flowing. We don't want to lose any appendages while we're out here.
You know Cody was pissed that he had to go back outside. That was half the reason that Robyn was fighting this battle.
Well, also just because Christine was out there too. So he wasn't really looking forward to this.
They do some jumping jacks. They live to tell the tale.
Truly's losing it. Yeah, it's mostly just huddle together for warmth. Just embrace each other and share some body heat. I'll snap a photo of that. All right, let's get back inside now. We're all done with that. More photos inside, which I love that they had to keep the line that the photographer was yelling out for the large family photo. I can see everyone's faces except for Mary. And it's like,
you didn't really need that one.
That's fine. I think we're okay. I think we're good. That's okay.
Does everyone else look good though? Because
just snap that one then. We'll start there. And then we can make other decisions if we need to.
Well, they have to squish together because real estate is at a premium inside here now that so many people have showed up to this wedding that they weren't expecting.
There are so many people and there are lots of photos and it is very crowded, but everybody's having a good time. It's a party with a lot of people and that's what Mykelti and Tony wanted.
Not a lot of food?
Well, do we have enough food? Tacos abound. We're going to start in with the tacos. 4,000 and counting.
They didn't do 4,000 tacos, though.
Around 4,000?
I thought they did 2,000 tacos.
Oh, okay.
They did not listen to Tony on the taco number. It was significantly less. That's why Cody is starting to get nervous.
Well,
He's
now,
like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
Cody's getting worried that we're going to run out. And Janelle and Christine basically take this as a lesson. Never doubt Tony ever again, especially when it comes to taco calculations. Obviously.
Cody doesn't even want to give a speech anymore. Because there might not be any food by the time that he's done talking.
Honestly, that's a win-win. That guarantees you some food, and it guarantees that we don't have to hear you speak at this wedding. So take that if you could. But of course, he's not going to do that, even though the tacos are disappearing quickly.
He didn't prepare for this speech. That was pretty obvious.
That was off the cuff.
It was very off the cuff.
Maybe it was the wrong shirt. Whose cuff it was off of.
He's like rambling about how Mykelti was already in love with Tony before they ever met him.
And that's good, I guess.
And how now Antonio Maria's son, this is my son too now. And then he barely remembers to introduce his own wife at the end.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Christine, without further ado,
stand by for a musical performance.
Well, he doesn't even prepare us for that. Nobody could prepare us for this, I don't think. And Christine has to grab the microphone and immediately yell into it. Is this thing on? Unfortunately, yes, it is.
And then she took a drag of water.
She is.
Did you see? She held the straw between her fingers like it was a cigarette.
She is announcing to everyone in the room how fucking nervous she is, which is terribly nervous. She is grabbing water, slugging shots of it like it's hard liquor.
And it is time to go.
And now, yeah, it is showtime at the Apollo. Christine introduces the song. Let's get this over with. And I love how we jump right in. And Tony's immediate reaction is, does anybody know this song? Does anybody know this song?
I don't know the song.
Nobody does.
Even if you did, would you be able to identify it from what's being sung?
No. And I thought we were going to be okay for a minute there. And then I was like, oh no, she's doing multiple verses because she kept going. And I was like, it's only getting worse.
Maybe when we changed the song up a little bit to make it more modern, we made it shorter.
We should have eliminated a few stanzas, I think, from this go around. But Christine's poker face is gone. She is wincing at every single mistake that she makes. She is humiliating herself, all to Mykelti's appeasement.
But is Mykelti appeased? Because as it starts, she also starts to squint.
Oh, she knew. She knew what she was getting into. She's always loved her mom's voice, loved to hear her sing.
But she's staring at her. And I was trying to identify the emotion, and then I realized it was disbelief that crossed her face.
It's awe, yeah. So that's over. Finally. And Christine's just glad that it's over at this point. So now it's time for cake, which is the main reason why I'm here.
Although everyone in the room, I think, is nauseous now of secondhand embarrassment. And also whatever happened inside their eardrums when she hit some of those notes that have never before been heard by the human ear.
It threw a couple people off, but the parents are just nervous about what's going to happen here. We're cutting the cake.
One of the cakes, we should say.
One of several cakes that are on the table. Pick and choose whichever one you want.
We didn't get enough shots of the cake bar.
I don't think we did.
I wanted to see much more of it. I wanted to see people enjoy it. I wanted to see what they picked. I wanted to look at it. And all we got was this shot of the chess piece cakes.
Right, and they're getting a good slice of this red velvet cake, which is obviously chocolate. Because if you ask somebody to bring a chocolate cake to a party and they show up with red velvet, you wouldn't be disappointed at all.
Let's not revisit the controversy.
I would like to state one last thing about the red velvet cake, is that there's a tablespoon of cocoa powder in it, but there's also a tablespoon of vanilla extract in it. So it's just as much vanilla as it is chocolate. Just going to say that for the record.
That's not what Tony's interested in anyway. He really wasn't here for the red velvet cake.
No, he wants the dolce.
But first, they have to eat the cake that's in front of them. And everybody's nervous that Tony is going to shove cake in Mykelti's face because this is a family tradition.
For Tony's family.
Yes. Not for the Brown family. They find that very disgusting.
It's very trashy.
And we know the Browns are the height of class.
Oh, tacky. I'm sorry. I'm sure that they would think it's trashy too, but I don't know if they would call it trashy. But the good news is Tony did not smash Mykelti's face with cake.
He doesn't really let her know which way he's leaning.
Well, he doesn't let the cameras know. I think Mykelti knew.
that he wasn't going to smash her with the cake.
She made it abundantly clear that if that took place, there would probably be some other things that didn't take place that evening. All Tony cares about, though, is where is the tres leches? That is it.
Okay. He locates it on the table.
Well, he finds something, and he just starts digging a fork into it.
The same fork that he just ate his piece of cake off of.
And it was like, are these the same cakes that we're distributing to everybody?
Yes.
Are we cutting around? Maybe we'll just cut around that part then, I suppose.
I really want cake now.
Yeah.
Someone should have told him that the chess pieces are the only pieces of cake that you can dig whatever fork into you want.
Yeah, don't tell him you can dig whatever you want into it, because you don't know what you're going to get. You got to be careful. You open it up for stuff like that, then mistakes could happen.
It's time to open up the dance floor.
So we're going to cram everybody into a tent. I don't know where this tent was. Is it?
It's outside. It's an outdoor tent.
Is it outside?
Well, do you think did they put a tent up inside? Why would you need it?
Yeah, where would this be taking place?
I feel like the dance floor was outside.
Okay.
The tent could have been heated, though.
Yeah, there were heaters around the perimeter of the tent.
Yeah, so it would have been a lot warmer than when they were sitting out in the ceremony.
Okay. That's promising.
And, you know, all the sweat and people being near each other, the grossness that happens on the dance floor.
Okay, great.
But
so they cram in to the tent.
To see the first dance.
It's the first dance. And Tony and Mykelti, oh, how they danced.
It is giving Cody vibes, is it not?
It was a very Cody dance. I mean, it's no moonwalking, but I mean, it still happened.
No, this is his fancy dance because Tony is whipping Mykelti around in spins to the point that her boobs have almost fallen out of her dress because they are picking up so much velocity in these spins that things are just flying out. If it's not strapped down, it's coming out.
She is clutching her pearls, among other things, at this point. What was amazing to me was that Christine was very impressed with Tony's moves. Had no idea that they could move and shake like this.
He watched one episode where Cody danced like that and was like, oh, I could do that.
I just like how that's how Christine's definition of a good dancer is equated, is just how much do they dance like Cody?
And just lots of spinning. You just spin someone around a lot.
Because eventually Christine does dance with Tony because Tony and Mykelti pull their moms out onto the dance floor. So then Christine ends up dancing with Tony. And she talks about how it was tough to follow him.
Because he's such a good dancer.
Because he's so good. In the way that Cody is a good dancer, where it's just unexpected bodily movements that are happening to you instead of around you or for you.
I don't think the form of dancing they're doing requires your partner to follow. If you want to keep your arm in the socket, yes, you probably should stay close.
If you want to survive, you better stay close. But now it's time for the piñata. That's what we're really setting up the dance floor for. We got to get these piñatas going here.
Christine has really come around to the piñatas, has she not? Because she's thinking maybe this could be a polygamous wedding tradition from here on out because the wives can all beat the groom and then the OG wives can beat the new wife. Isn't that funny?
It's a great idea. She's all on board for piñatas for the next polygamist wedding.
She laughs a little too hard compared to everyone else.
She laughs to hide the pain. That was that laugh. And it sounds very familiar. But Christine broke the sound barrier inside at the reception here. Now it's time to break some piñatas. And Tony is very by the book. So there is a specific song. There's a set amount of time that you have to strike the piñata with the stick. But as it turns out, these are very well-made piñatas.
They found the best piñata maker in all of southern Utah, apparently.
They are holding together, let me tell you. So we have to have a couple other people jump in, tagging in to take turns here on striking the piñata to break them open.
What we're learning is the legs are the weakest point on these things.
Legs, arms, hair.
And clothes.
Those are quick to go.
Because Tony goes first, and before too long, Mykelti's piñata has no legs and is partially nude. The titties be poppin', the same way they were on the dance floor.
Which, yeah, we already had a preview of that. Sneak peek.
Now, Aurora steps up to the plate. She is in need of some serious therapeutic outlet because she beats that pinata to a pulp with just a few swats.
I was okay with Aurora making contact with the pinata, knocking it open, and busting all the candy loose. I was okay with that. What I was not okay with was the amount of times that she continued to swing at the pinata after the pinata had fallen to the ground and children were now swarming around trying to claim the candy. Somebody needed to pull her out. She was in a blind rage and somebody needed to go grab her.
It's over, honey. You did it.
It's done. Now we are done swinging the stick. Please set that aside. But she did not get that memo.
She's just hypnotized over there.
She just kept going.
Now it's Mykelti's turn. As we know, Tony really talked up his pinata skills and how he was going to knock Mykelti's pinata down within a few strikes and no kids would be able to participate on his turn.
Which was not the case.
So she is amped up and she's worried that one of these kids are going to get smacked in the head after she saw what Aurora was doing. So everyone back up because you're about to see something.
Clear the dance floor. It's showtime. So she goes in. She lays in on this Tony pinata. And I like how Tony was up at the front. He kind of laughs at first, but then he got a little scared too. Like there's a legit fear that comes over him at one point while Mykelti is still repeatedly striking this Tony pinata.
She does ultimately fail to break the pinata open though. So now it's time for someone else to step up here. And they've located Garrison.
Mykelti knows who to tag in. Garrison is fresh back from basic training. He didn't even get a good shot at this thing, but all it took was 2 whacks and boom, that thing is split. It's on the ground. It's done.
And kids just come out of... Did you even know there were so many kids at this wedding?
I did not know.
They all came into the shot, one after another, on the candy, ripping at things. Poor Truly's in the back. She didn't even have a chance to get in there.
Now she's on her way to Suffragette City instead. Or David Bowie. That's a David Bowie song, Carly, in case you were wondering. It was a throwback to when we were mentioning that she was doing her makeup.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's a different era than Ziggy Stardust. So maybe that's what took you by surprise. You weren't aware of that reference. I apologize.
Cody is still talking shit about the pinatas after the wedding.
Well, now that he realizes the therapeutic value that pinatas have and how much it improved Aurora's mental health, he seems to be on board with it now. Pinatas are cool. So Cody's done with the pinatas, but he's just getting started with the dancing because he is taking his gloves off to throw Christine around the dance floor a couple times now. Did you see the shot of him peeling his gloves off and throwing them while he was entering the dance floor?
I was confused about why he was wearing gloves, and then I realized that they were still partially outside.
Burned into my mind. I'm never going to be able to get rid of that image now.
I'm convinced that when he dances with Christine, he's hoping that she will accidentally have a fall.
Well, and he is whipping his hair around like a Muppet out there. He is just going wild. I can't believe it. I can't keep up.
I mean, I think we've seen enough of Cody on the dance floor to know that this is what to expect. It's dangerous out there. In the Brown family mosh pit, as they call it.
Taking your life into your own hands.
And that is the end of the evening. And we find out, well, not really wasn't quite the end of the evening for Mykelti and Tony, but...
The televised bit.
They loved their wedding. It was legendary.
Magnanimous.
Magnanimous.
Was the word that Tony used.
And it will go down in history as one of the most bizarre events to take place in Sister Wives history.
It will live on in infamy, as it will via this podcast episode as well.
Next episode, Leon and their partner are going to the March for Women in Washington, D.C. They invite Mary and Janelle to go too, but Cody doesn't like the idea.
Yeah, Cody's not too big on politics unless it's donating to, like, the Trump campaign. Got to stop the steal, you know?
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next week.
To everyone else, this is a desk. But to you, it's a launch pad. Your starting block. This ain't a desk. This is opportunity.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the Coach Prime Moto G 5G on us at your local Boost retailer. Moto G 5G on us when you switch with ID verification and new Unlimited Plus or Unlimited Premium plan activation. Taxes extra. All prices, fees, features, functionality, and offers are subject to change without notice. See participating dealers for details.